Hey business owners, Marvel and Brown here, and today we are going to be taking a look at various platforms. And the reason that we are looking at these platforms is because as a new business owner, you may be confused, like which platform. There's so many different platforms out there. We decided to do this video just to give you an introduction, and we also have a blog post that we are I'm going to put at the bottom of this video. Somewhere on this page you'll see a link that will take you over to the blog post that explains various platforms that you can think about for your business. So there are certain things that need to happen before you select the platform, and you can really be thinking about these things at the same time. So the thing that you would want to do before you actually start listing your products is you want to have of course, a product. You want to think about the kinds of products that you're going to be promoting. You also want to think about your niche. So you want to do market research. You want to understand, is there a need for the products and services that you are going to be offering? You also want to think about the kinds of people, like who are your ideal customers? Who would be the best fit for the kinds of products and services that you want to offer as well? Once you have that figured out, then that's going to give you a lot of great information that you can use to create your listings and to figure out how to best showcase those products and services. The other thing that you will want to do is you will want to select colors, like a color scheme, fonts. You want to have a logo. Now, these are things that can be tweaked later on, but when you're setting up your platform, you want to incorporate these colors and fonts and things like that into your platform. And if you can do that in the beginning, then that will eliminate the need for you to go back into your platform and update this stuff later on. But you can do it in the way that works best for you. Okay, so the biggest problem with starting an online business one of the biggest problems is in selecting a platform. And the issue is that a lot of us don't have what we outline here in these three problem areas. So we need a place to send people, right? When you run across your ideal customers, maybe you're in the grocery store or you're out and about, you're doing your, normal errands, or you are at a child's function and you talk to people, you may find people just in your everyday, habits and activities. You may find people who would be a good fit for what you have to offer. You need a place to send those folks. You're not going to, run them down and try to have a lunch meeting or try to, spend a whole hour talking to them about what your product is and how great it is. You don't want to have to do any of that stuff. You want to be able to send that person, just get your phone out, maybe get that person's email address, or get some way that you can send them a link. And when you send them that link is going to send them to whatever you need to convey about your products and services. So that way you can have a platform that answers questions, that handles objections, that explains things, that demonstrates things, that showcases your products and services in the best possible light, and gives that person a way to make a purchase, right? And you want that way to be easy. You want to give people a very easy and seamless way to pay you. And so, and you also want to give your potential customers a way to refer you, or to make, a review, or to give you a testimonial. So there are lots of things that your platform is going to be able to do for you if you have certain things in place. So the first thing you need, of course, is a place to send people, a place to promote your products and services. You also don't want, a lot of us are not, we're not techie, we don't know code, and a lot of us don't want to learn it, we don't want to know it, we just want to get a platform that works, right? So you don't want a platform that's going to make you have to sit down and spend hours and hours, trying to figure out code and being techie and all that. You also need answers to your questions about the platform that is going to be best for you. So here are some of the platform types that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about non-techie platforms, And those are platforms that basically have drag and drop functionality. So that means that if you can download and upload files on the internet, if you can take your cursor and highlight it and click on an image or an element and then drag it over and drop it, and a lot of us do this, on a regular basis, then you're going to be fine in terms of being able to create a platform for your business. There's also going to be some platforms that are going to be on rented space, and I'll talk to you more about what that means here in a moment. There are also free and premium solutions that you can use as well. So we're going to talk about all of that. So we're going to start out with the limited use or rented spaces that you can get online. So when we talk about renting space, that just means that someone else owns the platform. You don't have any ownership and you don't really control, even though your products are on those platforms, you don't own it, you don't control it. So that means that you have to play by that platform's rules. Now, I've kind of given you a couple of platforms that are what we consider limited use platforms. And I'm sure you're probably familiar with at least one of these. Now, the main one, I'm not going to go through all of these, but just know that these are all limited use platforms and that you can put your content on these platforms and they will allow you to either network with a large group of people and send them over to a platform, or you can actually sell from those platforms. So like if you're on Etsy, you can sell from Etsy, you can sell from eBay, you can sell from Instagram and Facebook. I'm not 100% sure about these other platforms as to whether you can sell on those. However, these other platforms like Tumblr, Medium, Quora, Twitter, LinkedIn, they give you kind of a mini blogging function on those platforms that you can use to write little small articles or provide links to, your main platform. There are a lot of things that you can do with these limited use platforms. But the thing that you want to know going into it is that these are not platforms that you own or control. So if you do something that falls outside of the terms of service for that platform, they have the right and the ability to shut you down. So we're going to use Etsy as an example. Say, for instance, you're on Etsy, you have, tons of products that are listed on Etsy, and you do something that Etsy doesn't like. All that hard work, all that labor, to get those products listed. Let's say you have 1,000 products on Etsy and your business is humming along, you're doing really well, you like where you're at in your business, but then you do something that Etsy doesn't like. Maybe you go against their terms. Maybe you try to communicate too much with, what they consider to be their customers. There are lots of different things that you can do to violate the terms of service. So let's say that happens. And then without any warning, you can just get shut down. Like one day you have a shop, the next day you don't. And in a lot of cases, there's no explanation. So you don't even know really what you did wrong. I think that Etsy has an appeals process, but I don't know, how long that takes, or if it's something that, if you state your case, if they will turn it back on, or I'm not really sure how all of that works. But what I will say is when you're on a limited use platform, you are really, you're using rented space. And when you're using rented space, if you don't follow the rules, then you can even, instead of being shut down, they can just limit the number of people that are going to see your products and services. So you may have started out maybe with an audience of like 500 people. They can limit it so that maybe you only have 1 or 2 people that see your products. So you do all that hard work, you get your products listed, and you want to sell them. You're in business to make money. But these other platforms that are limited use can really limit and diminish the number of people that see what you have to offer. So you can learn more about that on our blog post. So then this is the platform. These are really the kinds of platforms that I recommend. I think that if you are able, and I know that a lot of times, and let's just kind of go back. So when you're first starting out, maybe you want to test out your products and you want to see, you know, if your products are in demand, if there's a market for them, if they are going to be, you know, popular, if you're going to be able to sell them. So you might want to use a limited use platform if your budget is low. Maybe you don't have the kind of money that it takes to get on some of the premium platforms. So maybe that's something that you want to, you know, work toward. So maybe you start out on the free platform or the limited use platform, and you work your way over to start transitioning some of your customers to a premium platform. That's a strategy that some people are using. So the limited use platform, of course, is one of those platforms that I don't necessarily recommend that you stay on it forever, but I do recommend that if you are limited in terms of your budget, then some of these limited use platforms are going to give you that boost that you need to start your business. Now, if you are interested in Etsy, if you don't have an Etsy store and you want to open one, we have an article, and I'll put that link below this video as well. The link to our article on Etsy will enable you, if you go through that video and you use our link, you're going to be able to get 40 free listings. So that means that you can get your business online. You can pay, I think they charge $15 now to open an Etsy store, but you open up your store and then you can get your first 40 listings, your first 40 products on the Etsy platform for free. So we do this because we know that a lot of people are struggling. We know that a lot of people have limited budgets, and they want to, you know, just have a way to get their business online. And, you know, Etsy is a true, trusted, tried and true, tested, trusted platform that a lot of people use. So that means that your customers, as long as they have that trust that they can go to Etsy and buy what they need, and they're not going to be scammed out of their money, they're not going to be, you know, unfairly treated, then they're going to go out and they're going to buy your products, because this platform has been around for a while, and a lot of shoppers definitely shop there. You don't have to worry about building up your traffic, and so it's a great way for you to get started. Now let's get to the self-hosted version of we have two popular platforms, Shopify and WordPress, that are self-hosted. And when you have a self-hosted platform, that means that you own it, you control it. So what you do is you purchase server space on these companies' sites. So in the case of WordPress, there are a lot of different web hosting companies that you can use. We use Bluehost, but you can certainly use whatever hosting company you want. And then when you're on Shopify, they have their own hosting that they provide you, and you can sign up for a Shopify account, and you can get your shop started, you know, and not have to worry about going out and finding a web host. Shopify also gives you a free 3-day trial, and then after that 3 days is up, you can get your first month for $1. So we have that deal going on our blog post as well. And then with WordPress also has a plugin that you can use for, and it's a free plugin that you can use for a e-commerce store, and that plugin is called WooCommerce. So we have information on how to set up WordPress. We also have information on how you can set up Shopify. These are the self-hosted solutions that we think are going to be a great fit for most businesses, especially if you know that your product, maybe you've been on a free platform or you've been online for a while, you know that your products are going to be selling, and you feel that you have a good fit when it comes to the niche that you're in and the products that you are selling, then you're going to be ready to graduate over to a self-hosted site. Now, when you're using a self-hosted site, that means that you also need a theme that you can use, and there are also some additional plugins that you might want to think about under the Shopify or the WordPress platform. But those are things that we talk about in detail when it is, when you go over to the blog post. Okay, so just know that you can use the limited use platforms to get started, and these are some of the limited use platforms. You can also use a self-hosted platform. Now, you can also do things like start a video channel. So videos are a great way for you to get the message out to your ideal customers. So you can, especially if you're on, let's say you want to start a YouTube channel. So YouTube is free. All you need is a Gmail account to get started with YouTube. And you can, just set up your channel. You might want to, again, kind of put together a banner and some of the branding elements that you might need to kind of make your video channel look unique to your business. So there are some elements that you can design using a tool like Canva or, any other video editor, and just create the branding elements that you need, like your banner, like maybe some buttons or things that you want to make your video channel look unique. But videos are an excellent way for you to get your business, to get the word out about your business and to really build an audience. Now, videos can also be used with, Shopify or WordPress. So if you're on those platforms, you can also start a YouTube channel that people can utilize, and you can just kind of link people back, just like I'm doing right now. I'm making this video, and then I'm going to link people back to my blog. So I'm on WordPress. I have a WordPress blog. Making it remotely is on WordPress. However, let me just kind of also give you a kind of a scenario that you can think about when you're deciding on whether you want to use a Shopify platform or WooCommerce or WordPress. So WordPress is more of a blogging platform. And so if you're someone who likes to write, if you want to earn money from, content creation, or if you want to teach courses, if you want to do things like maybe having a quiz strategy that you use to build your business, if you want to do sales funnels, or you want to create landing pages, then WordPress is going to be your solution. WordPress is more of a blogging platform, which means you can create content about your products, and then you can lead people, you can drive traffic to your WordPress site, and that gives people a lot of information that they can use to make a decision on whether they want to buy your solution. So, you can also have a WooCommerce store that you can set up, and WooCommerce integrates with WordPress. And so you can have a store that sells the products, that has your checkout and your cart and all of that. And then you can also have the blogging aspect of WordPress that has the content, and that content can also be ranked on, search engines. So depending on whether if you like to write and you want to kind of get into creating all kinds of different content, then you might want to use WordPress. The other thing about WordPress is if you have a video, let's say that you start a YouTube channel, you could put videos into your blog post. You can put your podcast episodes into your blog post. And so WordPress really accommodates pretty much any content platform that you would want to use. Now, Shopify, the benefits of Shopify are that it is very robust. It has a very clean, easy, minimalist checkout. There's no hassle, for your customers. When they're ready to buy something, they can buy and check out, and it's no big deal. Shopify is known for their checkout. They also have lots of different themes that you can buy, and those themes are going to control the look and feel of your store. So if you're someone who only wants to sell products, let's say that you found maybe you have a drop shipper that you are wanting to use. Maybe you're in print on demand and you have a company that will integrate with your Shopify store, and you can just kind of upload and download products from that Shopify store onto, or from that drop shipper onto your Shopify store. That's going to make it easy for you to integrate your products into your store, get them, on your site, and be ready to sell, right? And so that's the other great thing about both of these platforms. They integrate with a lot of different providers. WordPress is the same way. So if you find let's say that you find a drop shipper who is, going to provide you with your products, then you can link up WordPress. You can also link up Shopify with a number of different drop shippers, and then integrate your system so that your system talks to the drop shipper's system. And whenever you make updates on your platform, like if you're on WordPress or if you're on Shopify, when you update your products, then those updates are going to automatically be sent to your drop shipper. And so that's a way that a lot of people are making money online. They don't really come up with their own products. They sell ready-made products that go through a drop shipper. There are also people who make products through a process called print on demand. There are a lot of print on demand providers that also integrate with Shopify and WordPress. So just know that both of these platforms integrate with a lot of different apps, a lot of different tools, and a lot of different companies that you can use to sell products and services online. So the big difference between WordPress and Shopify, I would say, is that Shopify is more oriented towards selling products. WordPress is more oriented toward managing content. So it's more of a content management system. And then Shopify is more of an online e-commerce solution. Now, Shopify also, I believe they have blogging capabilities as well. So hopefully that kind of answers your question. If your emphasis is going to be on providing content, WordPress will probably be your best solution. If your emphasis is going to be on selling products and you're really not as interested in providing that content, or writing out articles and things like that, then Shopify is probably going to be your best bet. So again, just think about making videos, because videos are going to be one of the ways that you can build an audience. So a lot of times, and the other part of this is a lot depends on your audience. So people are some people like to read articles. Some people are better when you give them a video to watch. Some people like listening on the go. So there, is another way or another platform that you can use to market your business, and that is a podcast. So podcasts are more of an audio format. You basically use kind of a talk radio format, and you do things like provide tips, advice, motivation, ideas, and information that your audience needs to, live their best lives, right? So you can create a podcast, and you can put those podcast episodes. Let's say that you want to, put your podcast episode on your WordPress blog. You can definitely do that. Now, there's probably a way for you to put those episodes on Shopify, but again, Shopify is more of a store. It's more of a storefront, right? It's not really, the emphasis on Shopify is not on your content, but you can certainly, if you have a way to incorporate HTML, you can put your HTML on your Shopify store as well. Okay, so these are the various ways that you can, these are the platforms that you can use to build a business online. And the thing that you want to think about is, are you, number one, your time factor. So are you someone who just wants to maybe, you have maybe 10 or 15 products that you want to sell. You know what you want to sell. You've already kind of worked with a drop shipper or a print-on-demand company, or maybe you have digital products that you have created and you just need a place that you own and control to sell those products. Shopify is going to be a great solution for you. Now, if you're someone who is a writer, you might want to even, freelance as a writer and get paid for your writing abilities. If you're someone who is good at copywriting, which copywriting is just selling stuff through the written word. So when you want to, if you're someone who wants to do those kinds of things, maybe you want to teach a course. So let's say that you have products that are, for example, on my site, I help creative business owners. So maybe you're someone who knits or crochets or sews, or maybe you paint, maybe you're a photographer. You might want to have a site that you can use to showcase your products. And then because you are a subject matter expert, you may also want to teach a class. You may want to write out articles. And the other part of, creating content also has to do with meeting your potential customers where they are. So a lot of times before we make a purchase, especially if we're going to be making purchases for high ticket items, high dollar value items, we might want to do a little research before we actually buy our product. So if that's the case, you can write out blog posts that meet your buyers wherever they are in their buying journey. So that means if they're at the very beginning, they've just kind of become aware of a problem or an issue that they need, help with, then you can have content that you have written that explains to them how they can resolve that issue. There's also people who are maybe at the more advanced stages of making their buying decision. Maybe they just have a couple more questions, or maybe they have an objection, and your blog or your WordPress website you can create content that answers those questions, that handles those objections. So there are a lot of, pros and cons to, having things that are written out. There's some people that will never write a word of content. They hate writing. They don't want anything to do with writing. And so blogging is not a good solution for them. They would more or less, people in that category would probably be more of a Shopify customer. So I think that I have pretty much gone through everything that I needed to cover in this video. We know basically all the different types of platforms that you can use to build and grow a thriving online business. So I'm going to go ahead and close out. I hope that I've given you something to think about, and I hope that you are able to find the platform that works best for you. If you have any questions, you can reach me at mbrown@makingitremotely.com. All right, so thanks again. Have a great day, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.